Imagine a world where security has become more valuable than gold itself. Amid uncertainties, the wealthy are investing millions in bunkers, true underground refuges. But what does this reveal about the human condition? It's as if, in seeking protection, they are trying to escape something much bigger. The Bible has already warned us about difficult times, and now, this ancient wisdom resonates in every brick of these structures. Have you ever stopped to think that behind every bunker, there is a deep desire for control and security? Meanwhile, many wonder, does wealth really bring protection? Or does true security come from another source? These questions lead us to reflect on the relationship between faith, wealth, and vulnerability. Deep down, even the most affluent are confronted with the fragility of life. And when fear sets in, what do we do to protect ourselves? The answer might be closer than we imagine, among the pages of a book that spans centuries. Get ready for a fascinating journey that connects the quest for security with eternal truths. Let's explore together. In recent years, the world has faced a wave of interlocking crises, creating a scenario of growing insecurity. Political tensions, combined with social conflicts and environmental degradation, have led many to reconsider their personal safety. The wealthy, in particular, are investing in bunkers, like modern castles, prepared to withstand storms, both literal and figurative. This change in behavior reflects a world where security is no longer a certainty, but a necessity to be ensured. These bunkers are not just physical structures, they symbolize a response to a world that seems increasingly chaotic. The scarcity of resources, political polarization, and social instability are making many feel unsafe in their own homes. The quality of life that was once guaranteed is now fragile, and the belief that the government or society can protect everyone is increasingly illusory. Thus, the quest for protection becomes a reflection of the state of alert permeating society. Moreover, this global insecurity is fueled by a series of events that shock public opinion. From civil wars to refugee crises to epidemics affecting the global economy, the current scenario is a recipe for fear. The wealthy, aware of their vulnerability, opt for solutions that go beyond conventional security. It's as if, by building these bunkers, they are creating a bubble of safety in a world that seems to be falling apart. The choice to invest in bunkers is also a way to assert control amid chaos. For many, the idea of an underground shelter represents not just physical protection, but a way to regain power in an environment where everything seems out of control. The bunker thus becomes a sanctuary, a space where order can be restored. It is a reaction to uncertainty, a way to prepare for the worst. In this context, the construction of bunkers should not be seen merely as an extravagance, but as a survival strategy. Investment in personal safety reflects a new mindset that values protection above all else. And meanwhile, society continues to deal with the consequences of a world in crisis, where fear and uncertainty have become constant companions. Climate change has been one of the most significant drivers of the growing demand for bunkers. As the climate becomes more unpredictable, with extreme events becoming more frequent, the need for secure shelter becomes a priority. Hurricanes, floods, and wildfires are becoming part of the routine, and the idea that a refuge can offer protection against these forces of nature starts to gain traction. Natural disasters are not just numbers in a statistic, they affect lives and properties, creating a sense of urgency among those who can afford solutions. Investment in underground shelters is not just a matter of safety, but a logical response to a changing world. These spaces are designed to withstand not only the whims of the weather, but also to offer a sense of control amid uncertainty. Interestingly, this quest for safety also reflects a cultural shift. Instead of simply adapting to new climate realities, many feel compelled to create a space that can withstand them. The bunker becomes a symbol of resistance, a place where one can isolate from the chaos that the exterior represents. And meanwhile, nature continues to signal that times are changing. People seeking these shelters are often willing to invest large sums of money to ensure their families are protected. It's almost as if the need for a safe home is being redefined, and the idea of a bunker becomes more attractive as scenarios of natural disasters become more frequent and devastating. Thus, bunkers are not just security structures, but also a response to the new climate reality. The growing awareness of climate change and its consequences is shaping a new kind of consumer. The interest in protection technologies and sustainable construction is growing, and the idea of modern bunkers becomes a viable alternative for those seeking to prepare for an uncertain future. And as the world continues to warm, the construction of underground shelters may become a norm, leading to a new era of refuges in response to a changing planet. The concept of refuge has never been as relevant as it is today. In a world full of uncertainties, the idea of having a safe space away from the turmoil becomes a common desire among people. Bunkers, therefore, fit perfectly into this new security paradigm. They symbolize a place where one can retreat from the concerns of the outside world, a space that promises protection in times of crises. The quest for refuge is undoubtedly an instinctive response to fear. In times of economic, social, or environmental crisis, the need for a safe shelter becomes a priority. People seek not just physical protection, but also a mental state of tranquility, something that bunkers seem to promise. The image of an underground, isolated, and secure space evokes a sense of peace amid the storm. Furthermore, the idea of a bunker as a refuge is also a way to deal with everyday anxiety. Economic uncertainty, social conflicts, and environmental issues create an atmosphere of tension that leads many to seek extreme solutions. The bunker, in this sense, becomes a symbol of resistance, a way to affirm that, regardless of what happens, there is a safe place to return to. This quest for security can be seen as an evolution of the survival mentality. People are preparing for the worst, and bunkers represent a tangible way to safeguard themselves. This mentality of accumulating security reflects a new era where personal protection is more valued than ever. Thus, the bunker transforms into a space that is not only physical but also emotional, a place where relief can be found in times of uncertainty. The concept of refuge resonates deeply in times of crisis. It reflects a fundamental human need for safety and protection. As the world continues to change, the idea that a bunker can offer not just shelter, but also a space of peace and tranquility becomes increasingly attractive. And meanwhile, the quest for refuge in times of crisis continues, shaping a new understanding of what it means to be safe in such an unpredictable world. Pop culture, with its vast arsenal of movies, series, and literature, has been shaping how people view the need for bunkers and survival in extreme situations. The idea of an underground shelter, often glamorized on screens, captures the public's imagination and consequently reflects the growing concern about the future. It's curious to note that many of these cultural products are not just fiction, but also touch on themes that resonate with the reality of an increasingly unstable world. Movies like World War Z and series like The Walking Dead depict apocalyptic scenarios where survival becomes a daily struggle. In these contexts, bunkers are presented not just as refuges, but as symbols of status and preparedness. Watching these narratives, many find themselves thinking, what if this happens to me? This identification with characters in extreme situations can lead to a precautionary mentality, where the idea of a bunker becomes more attractive. Furthermore, science fiction and dystopian literature often explore themes of social collapse and environmental catastrophes. Books like The Year of the Flood by Margaret Atwood provoke reflections on the future and human vulnerability. These works feed the collective imagination and, at the same time, make protection in a bunker seem like a viable or even necessary solution. Social media also plays a crucial role in this phenomenon. Influencers and survival experts share tips and preparation strategies that capture the attention of an audience seeking security. This exchange of information and experiences reinforces the idea that being prepared is essential and that a bunker might be the answer for an uncertain future. The influence of pop culture and media is not limited to entertainment. It also provokes real changes in people's behavior and decisions. The desire to be prepared, fueled by these narratives, has led many to consider building or purchasing bunkers, making this idea increasingly common among the wealthy. When it comes to shelter and protection, one cannot ignore the rich symbolism found in biblical texts. Many passages mention the idea of refuge, safety, and divine protection, creating a powerful connection with the contemporary mindset of accumulating security. For those with a strong belief in spirituality, the idea of a bunker can intertwine with these promises of protection, creating a sense of urgency to prepare for tumultuous times. A classic example is Psalm 91, which speaks of God as a refuge and fortress. This type of language evokes the image of a safe space, a place where one can be shielded from the uncertainties of the world. For many, building a bunker can be seen as an extension of this search for a refuge, not only physical, but also spiritual, reflecting a desire to be protected in a chaotic world. Moreover, some apocalyptic interpretations of the scriptures have generated a preparedness mentality among the faithful. Prophecies that speak of times of tribulation and the need to be prepared for what is to come resonate with those who feel insecure about the future. This leads to a quest for security, often manifested in the form of bunkers. It is interesting to note that this perspective is not exclusive to a single religious group. Throughout history, various cultures have sought protection in times of crisis, often relying on symbols and narratives present in their traditions. The connection between faith and preparation for natural disasters or social crises can be seen as a way to make sense of what is beyond control. Biblical connections and ancient prophecies continue to influence how the wealthy and other groups view the need to protect themselves. The quest for a bunker is not just a practical matter. It reflects a deeper need for security and faith in times of uncertainty, shaping the mindset of many in a world that seems increasingly threatening. In recent years, technology has advanced rapidly, and this has not gone unnoticed in the world of bunkers. What was once seen as a simple underground structure has now transformed into a true technological home, offering comfort and security amid a scenario of uncertainties. The wealthy, always in search of the best, have invested in innovative solutions that make these shelters not only safe but also pleasant. Imagine having a movie theater, a pool, and even a state-of-the-art air purification system, all kilometers below the surface. These innovations are not limited to comfort, but also to efficiency. Renewable energy systems, such as solar panels and wind turbines, are becoming common in bunkers. This means that even in crisis situations, these shelters can maintain a level of energy autonomy, reducing dependence on external sources. The idea of a bunker as a self-sufficient space strengthens, attracting those who do not just want to survive, but live well, even in difficult times. Another interesting aspect is the integration of communication technologies. Today, it is possible to have internet access and communication networks even at depths, ensuring that the wealthy remain connected to the outside world. This brings a sense of control and security, allowing them to monitor events and stay informed, even when isolated in their underground fortresses. Moreover, automation and artificial intelligence have facilitated the management and maintenance of these bunkers. Intelligent sensors can monitor air quality, control temperature, and even detect threats autonomously. For the wealthy, this is not just a matter of security, but also convenience, allowing them to feel comfortable and safe, even in stressful situations. It is important to note that this technological evolution is not just a matter of luxury, but also necessity. As the world faces increasingly frequent crises, the demand for innovative protection solutions intensifies. Bunkers, equipped with the latest technology, become a status symbol and a survival tool, reflecting the growing concern with security in a constantly changing world. The psychology of fear plays a crucial role in how wealthy individuals approach the idea of preparedness. For many, the fear of natural catastrophes, economic crises, and political instabilities is palpable and often paralyzing. This feeling of vulnerability leads to a relentless search for forms of control, and bunkers become an attractive solution. Investing in a secure shelter is, for them, a way to face this anxiety and ensure that, in case of need, they will be prepared. The need for extreme protection is often linked to the perception that the world is becoming an increasingly hostile place. News about natural disasters, armed conflicts, and social crises fuel this sense of insecurity. Thus, the idea of having a bunker transforms into a reflection of the mindset that, if something bad happens, it is better to be prepared. This preparation becomes a kind of psychological shield, allowing these individuals to feel safer in an uncertain world. Additionally, the sense of control that a bunker provides is undeniable. By investing in technology and a secure space, they believe they are minimizing risks. This illusion of control can bring temporary relief, but the truth is that the fear never completely disappears. It transforms into a constant motivation for seeking more security, creating a vicious cycle that further fuels the need for protection. Another important point to consider is how this quest for security can affect interpersonal relationships. Instead of connecting with the world around them, many end up isolating themselves, believing that the only way to protect themselves is to distance from what they consider threatening. This can result in a state of loneliness, where the only company is the technology surrounding them in their bunkers. What should be a protection solution paradoxically transforms into a social barrier. The psychology of fear is not exclusive to the wealthy, it permeates different layers of society. However, the way this fear manifests and the solutions each group finds can vary greatly. While many seek shelter in communities or support networks, the wealthiest opt for individual fortifications, reflecting a survival mindset that ultimately reveals both the fragility of the human condition and the quest for security in an unpredictable world. And so, the quest for security and protection in uncertain times leads us to reflect on what really matters. After all, are these bunkers just a way to escape reality or an attempt to control the uncontrollable? The Bible has already warned us about the futility of trusting in riches and human fortifications. Have you ever thought that behind all this ostentation, there might be a deep cry for peace and security? What is really motivating this race for underground shelters? Could true protection come from a deeper place where faith and trust in God become our pillars? What if, instead of investing in bunkers, the wealthy channeled their riches to causes that really make a difference? How can we, in our daily lives, apply these biblical teachings about protection and security? Let's reflect together on what it means to be prepared, not just physically, but spiritually. So, how about sharing your opinions in the comments? What do you think about this obsession with security? And how can we use our faith to find true peace in times of uncertainty? The conversation doesn't end here.